Alright everyone, welcome back to Street City Studio. I'm John. Today, I don't know about you guys, but if you're anything like me, I've been looking at HIYA Toys Stalker pictures a lot. Like, I just keep staring at them, drooling at them. I'm in love with those HIYA Toys G.I. Joes. I'm real happy to see G.I. Joes back on the shelf, so to speak. And I don't actually have any of the G.I. Joes from them yet, but I do have a couple figures from them. Where are they? Oh. RoboCop, right? RoboCop there. And, right there. I also got Judge Dredd. Move me right there. We go. So, I'm a big fan, right? And I know there's a lot of them coming out quick. A lot of announcements coming out quick, and I can't wait. I'm definitely going to cherry pick because I already have a good handful of G.I. Joes, and I don't necessarily need doubles of all of them. But some of them, could use an upgrade too. I know, for example, right, my Flint, he's got terrible wrist and forearm articulation. His hands are really bad, His legs, even in the hips, knees, and ankles, are all really outdated. But he's not a terrible figure, he still looks really good. And likewise, this Stalker, he doesn't have the most modern articulation, but it's really not that shabby either. But as I'm looking at these HIYA Toys promo images, I'm in love with them, man. They're I don't know. I probably should have dug deeper and tried to figure out who the photographer was. If anybody knows, let me know. I'd love to know. It's a great photographer, whoever they are. But I was really inspired by a couple things, towards a couple things, right? I really wanted to try and create a similar kind of battlefield or bombed out kind of feel, this war zone battlefield kind of alleyway, right? And I'm probably gonna stick. This is very similar to what I ended up with the other day. I just pulled the panels out front and opened the gate. But what I'm gonna do here is, I got a couple of these old stands. Right, I can drop in here a little bit and help fill out this floor area, right? Make it look a little more destroyed, right? Like this one. And that's obviously a Sentinel, but you start laying it down. I'll probably get out of here for now. You start laying it down, and you really can't tell so much. But I also got this crater piece. Right? I thought that'd be a good piece to drop in right there and fill the gap, kinda. And so I can just drop our Stalker right there. But now, something that really drew my attention in that video too. I don't use enough color in my lights, and as I studied those images, they had a cool white like I use overhead here, but they also had a blue reflecting off of Stalker that looked really good, and I don't want to completely rip that off, so I'm going to go with purple, right? But I do have this light bar here, right? And we're gonna put a little splash of purple in there. See how that don't affect Stalker here. I'm gonna readjust here. But see now, look at that. Look at the difference that makes. Alright, puts that splash of color right on the front of them there. And we can even adjust here a little bit and zoom in. There. Look at that, might even adjust a little more, but. Right? That little splash of color really does a lot, even though it's kind of subtle, right? Watch. If I pull it out of there, see? Right? I like that a lot, but I'm going to keep playing with the scene here. And we'll probably jump into some other figures too, but I wanted to do solo shots just like that, kind of, because I really like how they can really make just one figure look like something by itself, you know? Got some of these broken road sign things. Something like that, just to kind of help fill it out, right? And now I might maybe play with his pose here, try and get him aiming this gun or something. Alright, let's try this. Ooh, look at that. Let's take a look. Yeah. His gun could drop a little bit, but that's not bad. Oh, no, he just gonna fall over. There we go. Yeah, that's really cool. Now, I'm gonna probably swap him out for Flint here, but I was trying to think if there's any other poses I could think of worth getting him in before I do the swap, right? That one wasn't bad though. Alright, let's try this. Give him a walkie-talkie this time. Like he's calling for, like he's calling for help. Maybe he's calling Flint, right? What else we got here? Alright, we refocused on Stalker because he was a little farther back this time, but I'm about to swap out anyways for Flint. Let's get Stalker out of there. Let's see. Flint. Now, like I said, One of my big complaints is that this figure has some very limited articulation, but not just in his wrists, but his harness really kind of jams him up too. But it's a good looking figure, nonetheless. Get him in the right poses with the right gun in his hand. Let's see if that's a little better. Yeah, his legs tend to look real stiff because of this limited articulation. He's got knees and a range, but it's real stiff in the hips and ankles, so it's not the most posable or functional. Let's see. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's better than I was expecting to get, actually, out of his legs. Thinking about switching it up with him and giving him something. Let's see. Maybe that pistol that Stalker just had. One of these knives, huh? Let's see here. Yeah, let's try this. If he'll stand. Oh, come on. We're standing a second ago. You stand on the flat table. Oh. Here we go. Alright, he's a little crooked though. Turn him. Yeah. And now again, I really want to highlight. Alright? Look what this color does. Look at the difference without it. And a lot of the times I don't use this, but this is kind of a reminder of what a difference it can make. That's really nice. Probably get some other guys out here too. Let's see. Alright, next up we got Duke. See how Duke's silver accents on his guns. Pick up this purple. Give it a little refocus. And again, let me take it away so we know, right? Check that out. Who's next? Let's see. Alright, next up, we got Wild Bill. Now I'm including Wild Bill for a couple reasons here. Let me refocus on him. Yeah, that's a little better, isn't it? But I wanted to include Bill because a couple reasons here. Mostly because I really love this figure and the character in general, but also because if you follow, I was missing one of his pistols just a couple days ago in a video I used him in. In case anybody was curious, I did find his other pistol within a couple hours after that video. I got to looking for it right away. But I'm a big fan of this figure and the whole look. Wild cowboy, helicopter pilot. He's great. And even his pistols are great. They look great. I like that they included the extra paint for the brown on the handles. Not just black, flat. That makes a big difference on a lot of these weapons, I think. The shotgun I was just using has at least 2 colors, but I think it has some silver on there too, so that makes 3 at least. Right, some weathering. And even the gun I was using for Stalker, that's from Lady J figure. Right, I really like that the ammo clip has some color to it there. It always makes a big difference. And even some of these knives I was using, right? I was trying to find knives with silver on their blade, but even that one Stalker has. The one Stalker comes with has silver on the blade, but it falls right out of his hand. It doesn't. It doesn't stay in his hand. So make do. I know I have some somewhere, but I'm only going to spend so long looking for it. I've been trying to get stuff a little better organized. And like I said, I did find Bill's pistols. I'm finding things, but I've got them all in bags and big gallon Ziploc bags, and I've been working them into... I've been working them into these cases as I get more, but these cases are about full now. I just kind of topped them off the other day. They had a lot of figures in them, and I've just been filling the accessory parts out recently. But he looks really good. Let's move on. Alright, this is where I would normally throw in snake eyes, I think, but just to kind of mix it up, I'm going to use Storm Shadow this time. Especially because I'm using this purple light over here coming in from this side. It really get some of that purple bouncing off of that white a lot different than it would. One of Snake Eyes is darker gray or blacks, right? It still has an effect, don't get me wrong, but just for the sake of talking about how these colors affect it, you know? And even, I might do a different pose with him too. Alright, let's try this. Oh, first try. Let's refocus. Yeah. Man, that's pretty good. I like that. I really like the hands that came on this figure so he can hold all this little extra stuff too. They hold up pretty well. None of his fingers have fallen off, and even if, like, you know, I was just using that sword before. It didn't look too awkward. You know, he's very versatile. And even he came with other stuff, right? Like that whole nother head, so he could look more like classic Storm Shadow, right? This one. Where is he? So he could look more like that version. I don't know where his belt's at right now, but I've got most of his gear accounted for. Just not that belt. But yeah, he looks pretty good. I'm trying to think who could top that. I don't know. Maybe we'll just jump right to the commander here. Let me see. See if he'll stay in first. Pull him right out. Careful not to lose him. This chair. Sorry about this chair. I gotta get something quieter. How's he look? Now this figure's not very articulate. It is, but just like that Flint, he's real limited. I'm not even gonna try and get him in a good pose because that might be the best we're gonna get at the moment. Let's pull him out. Now, I don't normally pull this guy out very often. But let's get this zombie Viper in here. Especially because we're using this light, this purple. Kind of accent him real well, I think. Turn him maybe. Now, I'm a big fan of his helmet and stuff. I do have his helmet and his little tank. I don't know where his harness is at the moment, but I got his extra arms and stuff, but I don't actually like these extra arms much. I do like the harness and the helmet, but I'm not going to put the helmet on him right now because I don't know where that harness is. But he still looks really cool. Jump into one last figure here, maybe. Let's see. What kind of gear I can give him before we go too far. Let's get him out of here. And now next up we got Firefly. Now this is one of my favorite figures, and I can't wait, just like I said at the beginning of the video. I'm going to have to readjust here. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. But I'm a big fan of the HIYA figures coming out, and I can't wait for the HIYA Firefly, just like Stalker. Because I love this figure here, but it's in sore need of some updates in the articulation, at least. But some of those new accessories are pretty exciting too. I like that drone and backpack and stuff, right? I'll probably throw this in just for cool factor, right? But I don't love that pose. Let me see. Maybe do something better with this rocket launcher. That's a little better, but maybe I'll give him a different gun. Let's see. Kind of like the idea of giving him the rocket launcher, but it ain't working. Let's give him one of Lady J's green gun. That kind of looks good. Turn him towards the camera a bit here. How's that look? And again, I know we've been burning through some figures quick. I want to take that second again to remind you. Look what happens. You take that purple away. Right? And that's not to say every shot needs it. Because, like I said before, I don't use it every shot. I definitely don't. But today's just kind of a practice. Throwing some of that color in there just to see what effect it has, really. And it does. It adds an extra layer of, just that splash of color makes a difference. It really does. I think that might be my last figure for this, though. Right? I could keep going and just burning through all my figures, but we don't need to look at all my figures. This is just kind of inspired by that HIYA Toys photography, that promotional photography for that Stalker figure. I'm real excited for what HIYA is doing with these G.I. Joes. I'm glad somebody's doing it. If Hasbro doesn't want to make them, I'm glad they're letting somebody else do it. Right? Trying to think. There's a couple that I can't wait for, man. Firefly and what else? That Metalhead. I know they haven't announced a Metalhead, but I see a trend where they seem to be following the classified figures, right? And so, like, it looks like your Firefly, your Major Blood, your Zartans, and the whole lot of them, or at least most of them, look inspired by the same art that Classifieds is working with, right? The same kinds of equipment and designs. And I really like that, right? I like the modern updates that they're using. So translating them over to the HIYA Toys versions, man, I like that. I can't wait for Firefly. Can't wait for Flint. A Zartan. I need that Zartan. Who else? Oh, I was hoping they make a Metalhead. I'm really, really hoping they make a Metalhead. But I don't necessarily need the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadows. Just because I have a good 5 each already. But it's exciting. It's good stuff. The prices aren't too bad either. They're not amazing prices, but they're pretty decent figures. I'll try and stay optimistic and all that, right? But otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap it up, right? As always, I appreciate you guys coming by and checking out this video about lighting today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. If you want to check out my Facebook and Instagram, I'd really appreciate some follows, some subs. And even here on YouTube, I'd appreciate some subs. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching. Keep playing with them toys. I'll talk to you again real soon.